from New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show.
How you doing? The kids have come to play today. You won't believe what I'm about to tell you. With all due respect, have several seats. My girls are always turned out. I give it to you straight, no chaser.
Now, here's Wendy.
Thank you. I love the love. Welcome to our show. And thank you so much for watching. And say hello to my co-host, my studio audience. Special. How you doing? Okay, today, let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. So, thank you for being here. Well, I made a delicious dinner last night. The crowd went wild. Garlic noodles with shaved Brussels sprouts inside. You bake the Brussels sprouts, you make the noodles over here on the stove, then you marry them both in a pan afterwards, and they went wild. So I got home late yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get in the bed and eat. We prefer eating in the bed as opposed to, like, I can't. Other than going out for dinner at restaurants, I can't remember the last time the three of us actually sat at the table. Like, normally we're standing at the island in the kitchen, or, you know, we're eating from our laps in the family room, or we're in our bedrooms eating. So I had mine in a bowl, yes, and I was watching VH1 Hip Hop Honors again last night. Yes. And again, I was very entertained. However, it's come to light that Angie Stone, now you know Angie Stone, a lot of you all know Angie for being the soul singer and talented woman that she is. But for many of us, we remember Angie from back in the day. Oh yes, she was in that 70s rap group Sequence. Okay, there's Blondie in the middle, and there's Cheryl the Pearl, and then here's Angie. This is back in the day. And so now Angie's outraged because VH1 didn't include them in the show. You know, and Angie, I understand what you're saying. You know, people from my generation definitely remember that you all were, in fact, the first rap group, girl group signed. Girls, back in the day. And they had that song, "We're gonna funk you right on up. We're gonna funk you right on up." Ow. All right. A lot of, you know, and I mean, even Dr. Dre sampled it on "Keep the Heads Ringing." Ding, ding, dong. And Old Dirty Bastard sampled them also, and so is Trina. So the Sequence really does have a place in hip hop. But aside from that one song, and maybe something on the B-side, I don't remember what that was. Anyway, in a press release, VH1 said Salt N Pepa was the first true female hip hop group. So you get where Angie is pissed? If I were her, I'd be upset also. But that's like inviting your third cousin to your wedding. You know, you only have a list that goes but so long. It's enough that the hip hop, you know, that tribute show that I've watched twice was so many hours. We couldn't take any more time. And they didn't include Sequins. because that show probably wasn't catering to me and you and our generation. That show was catering to people, like people know who Salt N Pepa are. Like modern people, you know, 8-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds. Like people know who, it's like this, okay. There are a lot of people who think that Johnny Carson was the bee's knees on The Tonight Show. Many people don't remember Steve Allen. Or Jack Parr, okay? So they're not included in the fray. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And Salt N Pepa did a great job. They have a whole body of work, and they're also on tour. Ange, you and the Sequence aren't even together anymore. I don't know whether you're friends with them or not, but Ange, you went on and became a soul singer, and I don't know what became of Blondie and Cheryl the Pearl. But, I mean, and the Sequence will always live in the playlist of some of us who remember from back in the day. But, you know, Salt N Pepa, I guess VH1 felt was more relevant, plus they're still together. And by the way, they're touring. Anyway, look, Eve hosted, and she'll be out here later on today, so. Yeah. I am so disgusted with Lamar Odom that I want to do this story standing up. Like, Suzanne, I'm minding my own business.
I know.
And I happen to have the TV on. TMZ.
Of course.
And did you hear about this? During this recent flight from New York to LA, that's a 5-hour flight. He was in seat 4B. Up in the first class where the orange juice is really good. Oh, yes. Not too much pulp. Tastes like they squeeze it there at the front. It's just good. Best orange juice ever. Anyway, reportedly, Lamar was in the Delta Lounge, which is for people like Lamar, you know, or other, like people go there if you have like a first class ticket and you don't feel like waiting at the gate. So you go upstairs and they have cheese and nuts and some sandwiches and you have to pay for stuff, but still, you know, but they have the booze, all right? And really comfortable chairs. So Lamar reportedly was at the Delta Lounge before the flight getting pissy wasted. Which sounds fun, unless you have a problem. And 2 teenagers whose friends are going to roast them when they get back to school in September. Lamar, what are you doing with your life? Reportedly, he was drinking whiskey and beer. Well, I don't know whether he had anything on his stomach, but he got so drunk that when he got on the plane, there he is. By the way, don't you love that thing that goes up? That's for the tall people. Those of us who are taller, like we need that. And what about that thing that folds on the side so your head doesn't fall over like this? Don't you like that fold over thing? I love the fold over. I don't much like that U-shaped thing that you all carry. Suzanne, do you use that when you fly?
I used it once.
Did you?
It was incredible.
But it's more stuff that you have to carry.
Yeah, so I never used it again because I don't want to carry it. But it really does work.
Yeah. You know what I wish I had? I wish that they had a button to make the lumbar more supportive down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. As I've gotten older, I find that, you know, oh, my back. Anyway, reportedly, he got so drunk that he vomited everywhere and got kicked off the plane. There's the vomit on the floor. Yes. No! Oh, please. The rest of it is on his outfit. And the other part is left in the bathroom in the first class. And you know, he's tall, which means it probably splattered. You know? Well, there's no room in those bathrooms to really bend over if you're really tall. Like, Lamar is almost 7 feet tall. So he can't bend over, so he's just gotta stand. And splat. Thank you to TMZ for this fabulous picture. You depressed me for the rest of the day. So Lamar, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with your life? No, he's been to rehab. Lamar, and by the way, I have no idea who was in seat 4C, which would be next to 4B, where he was sitting. But he had a near-death experience 9 months ago. When you almost die, right? Don't you kind of get a wake-up call? Especially, right? I mean, we do a lot of joking here on the show, but Lamar, at this point, has anybody here, any of my co-hosts almost died? Clap. Yeah. Wake-up experience? Yes, woke you right up, right? Right up. Say, Lamar. And, you know, to make matters worse, it's not just about your life. Again, it's about your kids. And whether they're 5 years old or, 25 years old. But the idea that his kids are old enough now, when September comes and they go back to school, people are gonna be like, well, that's why your daddy's a crackhead. Or that, no, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Lamar is a really good guy, and he's got a really giant heart. He was here in New York, he gave away sneakers to less fortunate people, and he spreads Lamar spreads the love. I just wish that he would get himself together. Yeah. So right. It's okay, I'm gonna drink it. I don't know what the hell is floating in my tea. Somebody's trying to kill me around here. If you're gonna put a capsule in my tea, then make sure you stir it well so I don't see the residue. That's all. And the plot thickens. I will conduct a full-blown investigation after this show. Believe me, you. Anyway, so Jennifer Aniston, who doesn't speak out about much, she doesn't have social media, she doesn't clap back. I don't suspect she even knows what a clap back is. Like she impresses me as one of these actresses that's so entitled and sequestered in her compound that she's out of touch with the real world. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Not a bad thing, just an observation. Well, apparently she isn't touch enough to clap back for the first time about rumors about her being pregnant. Well, she did an essay for the Huffington Post. And, yes. She writes also, and everything was spelled correctly. Anyway, Jen says that she's sick and tired of everyone obsessing over her body. Here's what she says. She says, for the record, I'm not pregnant. What I was is fed up. I resent being made to feel less than because my body is changing or I had a burger for lunch and was photographed from a weird angle and therefore deemed one of two things, pregnant or fat. Yes, I may become a mother someday. If I do, I will be the first to let you know. Good for you, Jen. Good for you. And if you'll look at the picture, Exhibit A, I was the one who said, do you remember? Were you watching? And I said, she probably had a burrito for lunch. You know how that is. And when you're with a guy who you're really comfortable with, you don't feel like you have to hold your stomach in all the time. You know what I mean? Like she and Justin, they're married and stuff, and he loves her and knows what her body is. You ever go away with your man and you have something big to eat on the beach in a bikini and don't bother holding your stomach in because you already know who I am and the beauty that lies within. Yeah, So, somehow I knew she wasn't pregnant. I can't picture her being a mom. No, that's not a bad thing. It's just like a thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, she said that coworkers and strangers, people on the street, congratulating her on being pregnant. She says this happens at least 12 times a day. Now, you know, we all know a woman with a bigger belly and you don't know what to say. If you don't know that she's pregnant, the polite thing, don't say nothing. Yeah, don't say anything. And P.S., if she is pregnant, don't take the liberty of touching her belly unless she says you can do that. You know, don't put your devil over here on my thing. I don't know, you know. Anyway, so Jen says that the media scrutinizes, and I agree with her, women's bodies and women's personal lives, and it's harmful to young girls. I agree. Not every woman needs to be married. Not every woman needs to be a mother. It doesn't define your womanhood. Jennifer, by the way, you look very beautiful here. Yeah. So in conclusion, she's not pregnant, and so stop it. Touching her and saying stuff. And my friend Dr. Phil, boy, he's put up with a lot for the past 13 years. Oh, yes. Oh, he's been married to Robin, which I always tell you, I love the Dr. Phil show. And sometimes I don't catch it during the week, but I watch the reruns on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, they come on like back to back. I think he's smart and insightful, and I love at the end when he grabs Robin's hand and they walk off together, back to their compound. I love, that's so sweet. It's like sweet to me. You know, Robin sits in the audience, and then, anyway, okay, so they've been married for almost 40 years. But for the last 13 years, the National Enquirer has been saying that they're divorcing. Oh. In 13 years, Dr. Phil is claiming that they've printed more than 80 fake stories about them divorcing. So now he's suing the National Enquirer for $250 million. Now, you know, Dr. Phil doesn't need the money. He's worth $1 billion himself, in my head. But he's worth $1 billion himself, so he doesn't need the $250 million. He's suing to prove a point. And at one point, he even talked with the Enquirer, or his legal team did, you know, like, look, you guys, we're not divorcing. Please stop writing this. They agreed for a moment, and then they went back to writing it. So there have been over 80 stories about the divorce in the past, like I told you, 13 years. You want to hear some of the headlines? Yes. Okay, first, picture Dr. Phil. Right, they don't get a smiley shot. You know, when the magazines post a picture and they want to prove a point, they always use a picture of you that matches the headline. So they'll use a picture grimacing. You know, look, some of the headlines. Dr. Phil, raging monster. Dr. Phil's wife can't take it anymore. Dr. Phil's wife walked out, divorce blow up. Dr. Phil's wife kicks him out. He begs, call off the divorce. So I feel like he put up with it enough. You don't have to sue for everything, you celebrities. But once you had it up to here, like Latifah had it up to here. But once you had it up to here, perhaps this lawsuit is necessary. You know, you can't squash every false story that's written about you, but, you know, after a build-up, I think that he's tolerated this long enough. So shout out to you, Dr. Phil, and shout out to you, Robin, and good luck. By the way, and shout out to you, National Enquirer, because, you know, I still love you. Okay. I love them. So Kobe and Vanessa are pregnant. Yeah. It's time for our celebrity shout out. Hit it. Well, Kobe's been retired for a moment, and so that's a whole lot of time in the smushing room. You know, you have time to be with your wife and reconnect and fall in love all over again. They announced they're expecting a baby girl. This would be their third baby and their third girl. And adorable. And Vanessa is still young enough to have more. You know, she's only 34 years old. Because they've been married for so long, but they got married when she was like 17 years old. And their daughters now are 13 and 10. And so they're gonna have a goober. And I think that's sweet. Congratulations. Oh, well, keep clapping. You can stop a little, yes, a little louder. We've got more great showing when Eve is here. Last night, she kicked off her tour with Gwen Stefani, so I look forward to catching up with our friend Eve. But up next, we hit the streets to see what Wendy watchers have to say about some of our favorite celebrities, so be sure you keep it here. Thank you.